Då får jag önska er hjärtligt välkomna till Karnhayesods Israeldag 2019. Ja, det är Mikael Kohn, jag är ordförande i styrelsen för Karnhayesod, och Ulf Kahn här som ni känner. Vi kommer att vara värdar ikväll. I also would like to introduce and welcome our foreign guests. We have Doron Almog, who will be our first speaker tonight. And we have Einat Wilf, second speaker. We also have Talia Sapir, who represents the head office from Jerusalem, our project partner in designing the projects that we put our money in. Jag vill också tacka våra sponsorer. Arnon Kozlov from Mizrahi Bank. And whoever wants to buy an apartment, want a mortgage in Israel, please turn to Amnon. He will gladly help you for that. And jag vill också tacka Harry Klaxbrunn, Marina Sjugalski som sponsorer, och Lennart och Mira Schuss som också sponsrar ikväll, så att kostnaderna här drabbar inte några av våra barn. Vi behöver inte ta iväg några pengar för några barn eller äldre som vi sponsrar, utan det här är självförsörjande event. Och vi hoppas naturligtvis få in pengar också idag till någonting som ni kommer få höra lite mer om senare. Vi har också volontärer här som har hjälpt till också. Jag är jätteglad att ha er här, och det är en stor hjälp för oss att ni ställer upp på det här evenemanget. Då kommer vi till, tror jag, kvällens första talare. Har vi något mer du ville säga innan? Nej, det är bra, Ulf. Ja. Trycker fram. Doron, I will introduce you in Swedish. I think you know what I'm going to say, but about. Doron är en mycket känd man i Israel. Och på en personlig plan så kan jag väl säga att han personifierar Israels öde, kan vi säga. Han var en commander i Special Forces, först ut på Entebbe. Mod, envishet. Han har byggt upp hem för rehabilitering för handikappade barn. Han byggt upp stort rehabiliteringssjukhus i Negev. Det visar på envishet, beslutsamhet. Också det som karaktäriserar israeler, personliga tragedier. Både i familjen, på ett sätt som vi har svårt att föreställa oss. Ni kommer få höra allt om det här. Så det här är en man med en distinguished military career, still active. Entrepreneurship, both business entrepreneurship and social entrepreneurship. And personal growth through reflecting the faith of Israel. And Doron, before you're here, I got the instructions that we're going to have a film. And I think all the details about your career and being a commander, so I think that these are secondary to your personal experiences and your personality. So in a few minutes, Doron will come and talk to you, and he will introduce himself with the movie. Thank you.
Major General Doron Almog served as the head of the Southern Command in the IDF between the years 2000 and 2003. During the course of his army career through 4 wars, General Almog accrued a great deal of operational battle experience and undertook many missions in the unending war against terror. During the Yom Kippur War, his brother, Lieutenant Doron, a tank commander, was killed on the Golan Heights. Despite that devastating loss, General Almog continued to fight on behalf of Israel. Key landmarks in his army career include an incursion into Tripoli in February 1973, aimed at capturing those responsible for the Munich Olympics massacre, command of the first task force to land in the Entebbe airport in 1976. That daring rescue operation aimed to free 105 hostages being held in Uganda, including Jews, Israelis, and flight crew members from Air France, overseeing the airlift of about 6,000 Jews from Ethiopia. During the First Lebanon War, dubbed Operation Peace in the Galil, he commanded the elite paratroopers brigade force on its journey from the Awali River to capture Beirut. Since his retirement from the army, General Almog is focused on the establishment of the Ale Negev Rehabilitative Village on behalf of disabled children and young adults with severe cognitive disabilities. His son Eran, born with severe autism and mental retardation, was one of the first residents of the village, which provides residential, medical, and social services to Israel's most severely disabled. After Eran's untimely death in 2007, the village was renamed in his memory and is now called Ale Negev Nahalad Eran. In recognition of his efforts on behalf of the special needs population, the Israeli government accorded Doron Almog the honor of lighting a torch at the 2006 Central Independence Day celebration in Jerusalem. In 2016, Doron Almog was awarded the prestigious Israel Prize for special contribution to society and the state for his inspiring work to benefit the weakest among us. Upon receiving the prize, Doron made a moving speech that was widely received in Israel.
חיזוק החוליות החלשות הוא הצעד הראשון במסענו לתיקון עולם חברתי. ביום שבו ילדים כמו ערן בננו, החלשים ביותר בחברה, יהפכו לעמוד הענן המוסרי שלנו, המנחה אותנו לפחות אגו, ליותר נתינה, ליותר התנדבות, ליותר עשייה למען הזולת, ליותר אהבה ללא תנאי, למען החלש והשונה. באותו היום נהיה אנשים טובים יותר וחברה טובה יותר. באותו היום נחזק את עצמאותנו ונהיה ראויים יותר להיקרא חברת מופת.
General Almog continues to serve voluntarily as the chairman of the board of Ale Negev Nahalad Eran, fulfilling Iran's unwritten legacy to advocate on behalf of the most vulnerable members of Israeli society. During the course of my life, Almog says, I accepted upon myself two commitments which have changed and shaped my life. One, on behalf of my brother Iran, is to continue to fight for the security of Israel. The second, on behalf of my son Iran, is to offer a future of hope for the weakest and most defenseless members of Israeli society. These commitments stand before me and guide me every day, every hour, as I continue to work for the security and peace of Israel and try to build a better society which takes care of the most vulnerable in its midst.
Good afternoon. I'm pleasured and honored to be with you. I speak about the bonds between the community of Jews and non-Jews here in Sweden and the state of Israel, and what, as a matter of fact, connecting us as a society. The greatest teacher of my life was Eran, our son. Eran passed away 12 years ago. He has never spoken one word, never said dad, Abba, never said mom, never made eye contact. And he taught me more than any other human being about our society, about our values, about our bonds, about commitment, about love. You may ask how a child who has never said one word taught you so much. And I'll explain. In Judaism, in our culture, we speak about love. It's written in our Bible, "Ve'ahavta lereacha kamocha." Love your friend as love yourself. It's written in our sources, "Kol Israel arevim ze lazeh." We all responsible one for each other. He showed me how children like him are treated in our loved Jewish country. As a matter of fact, he showed me how children like him are extremely discriminated, extremely left behind. And all my life, I was dedicated to give my life for saving other people's life. He was born 1984. When I was 33 years old, Special Force Unit Commander, leading operation in Sudan. 6 years operation in Sudan to bring Jews, Ethiopian Jews, from the Sudani desert to the only Jewish state in the world. Jews who were in trouble, in misery, in suffer, at risk. And at that time, January 6, he was born. It was only natural for us, 11 years after the Yom Kippur War, to give him the name of my brother that was killed in the Yom Kippur War. Then shortly after his birth, we saw that something is different, like his death. You click before his face, no reaction. You clap hand, no reaction. We started a long process of diagnosis. After 8 months, Didi, my wife, and me were told by a psychologist, your son is having a combination of autism and retardation. That's the word she used, retardation. She said, I think he will never speak. She said, I think he will stay forever at the age of few months. That was a shock for Didi and me. We bring children to our world. We want them to be better than us, a source of pride. We want to show ourselves, our family, our friends, our children. When we raise cellular showing pictures of a successful child, as a matter of fact, we speak about ourselves. Of course he's so great. Of course he's talented. Of course he's genius. In our family, everyone is genius. The apple fell near the tree. Yeah, that's it. Have you ever seen a father or mother taking cell phone showing pictures of a retarded child? So he told me what is underneath, what's behind, what's a huge wall of stigma and stereotype enveloping these children. So I spoke about that period, 1984. These pictures from 1984. I'm on the left side, getting back from Sudan. Israel Prime Minister on the right side, Yitzhak Shamir, welcoming us when we brought in each operation about 600, 500 Jews, Ethiopian Jews. And we are in civil clothes, by the way, Operation Special Force, civil clothes together with Mossad. And behind me, hundreds of operations all over the Middle East. I was 33 years old, very experienced as commander, as leader. Behind me, operation in Lebanon, in Syria, in Jordan, in Egypt, in Sudan, in Iraq, you name it. And I lost many, many, many of my friends. Luckily, I'm alive. Luckily, thank God. I faced many battles. I lost friends on my right, on my left, behind me. And I continue fighting for my country. This is the Entebbe, the raid to Entebbe. Famous raid 1976, July 4. We flew 4,000 kilometers, landed 11 p.m. sharp, 53 minutes on the ground. We killed 7 terrorists and about 30 Ugandan guards in the first 2 minutes of the operation, and rescue the 105 Israeli hostages. I was the first to land in Entebbe, the last to leave Entebbe. We lost Yoni Netanyahu, the brother of our prime minister, was a friend. And Ershko Surin, a friend, got a bullet in his head, is a handicap in a wheelchair. And we lost 3 of the hostages. This operation, I believe most of you heard about the Entebbe operation. For the state of Israel, it was highly important because the Yom Kippur, Israel lost a lot of reputation. And as you know, we have no chance to lose even one battle, or one war. We lose one war, there is no state of Israel. We don't have second chance. We need to fight for our existence every battle. So that's pictures from after the raid to Entebbe. And the Yom Kippur War. The Yom Kippur War, a war that the state of Israel was surprisingly attacked 1973. Holiest day, the Yom Kippur, October 6, 1973. All of a sudden, the Syrian in the north, the Egyptian in the south. I found myself fighting in the south of Israel, a paratrooper company commander, yes, experienced. Many battles. I thought, that's it. I want to see the seconds later, not the morning after. I lost many, many close friends, about 100 close friends. From my class at high school, 7. From my school, the Reali school in Haifa, 73 we killed in the Yom Kippur War. From my para brigade, about 100. I was 22 at the Yom Kippur War. That's me on the right, my brother, 20 years old, just 2 months before the Yom Kippur War. During the war, the rumors in my town, Rishon LeZion, said both of us were killed. October 16, 1973, my parents were informed on my brother. I didn't know. That was not cellular age. The end of the war, I arrived to telephone call home. My mom from the other side, and I'm asking, what about Iran, my brother? She said, we lost Iran. We have no Iran anymore. I came home. There were no funerals. The funerals happened 1 year later. They were all buried in temporary cemeteries. And I continued to the Golan Heights. I found his tank. This is his burnt tank, the tank of my brother. He was the 2nd platoon commander of the D Company in 82 Battalion 7 Brigade. Doesn't say to you too much. That's his burnt tank. He was shot by a Syrian tank 50 meters in front of him. He was thrown outside, bleeding near his burnt tank, 7 days. In military, we say, never leave the wounded. We say, never leave the wounded behind. My brother was left behind. We say, never leave the wounded, but many were left behind during the Yom Kippur War. And I learned by my own investigation that he was left behind, bleeding, pleading, crying, shouting for assistance. No one arrived. He could be saved. He was shot on his left leg. He could be saved. And I was frustrated as hell. And I swore after the Yom Kippur War. I swore near his burnt tank. I swore to stay in military. and do my best to never, ever leave a wounded soldier behind, just like that. And that's what I've done. Many rescue operations, not only the Entebbe and Ethiopian. I found myself in November 20, 1983, at the middle of Beirut, saving a pilot, Lieutenant Colonel Miki Lev, who was shot by Hezbollah, was caught by a terrorist, and then I got ordered, you go and bring him. And we came to Beirut. It was 2 p.m. We got ordered to save Lieutenant Colonel Miki Lev. We penetrated Beirut and found his captors, threatened them, and brought back Miki Lev alive. 2 p.m. he was shot. 8 p.m. he was back in Israel. And we continue staying in Beirut for more missions, bringing some technology of his crashed airplane. So that was my military career. And then Didi, my wife, and me raising a child who is named after my brother. He unable to speak, unable to say a word, unable to eat by himself, to dress by himself, all his life wearing diaper, unable to say even, my dear dad, please take off my diaper. I'm 30 minutes done, please. Unable to say even one word. And then I discovered that children like him are the purest in our society. The purest because they never did wrong to anyone. They never killed, they never hit, they never cheated, they never manipulated, never did wrong to anyone. And then our society punished them because they are nothing, because they are the weakest. We are the Jewish people. We that were discriminated, killed, massacred in Second World War, we discriminate the weakest? Yes. The answer is yes. We moved. Yeah. I know, it's very tough to listen. He was something like a huge echo box of my bleeding brother. A child who can't speak for himself, who can't defend himself, who can't fight for himself, who can do zero. And his presence like saying, my dear father, will you do something for me? My dear father, you flew to Entebbe to save 105 Israeli hostages. There were only 1 week hostage. I'm hostage from birth. Every single second of my life, unable to do anything by my own power. My dear father, are you ready to do also a social Entebbe for me? And then we were advised by the social worker in our town. Didi, my wife, and me asked the social worker, where children like him are kept in Israel? She said, institute. We have institute for retarded people. Okay. So we start moving all over our country to see institute for children like him. What we saw, you open the door, then you got a blow of stink. Stinky places. Number 2, you see distorted faces. They're afraid from the world. Here's our prince. And we see children that are afraid. And then you ask the workers in these places, what is this place? You know, they lower their head. And then even don't have the courage to say, I'm working with disabled children. What a shame. And then we started hearing stories. The first, Golda Meir. Powerful woman. Our prime minister. I wish ourselves that many more women would be prime minister of Israel. She was the prime minister of Israel during the Yom Kippur War. She was the one to tell me and my friend, 1972, after the massacre of the 11 Israeli sportsmen, you go and kill them. You go and hunt them until the last one. I led the first operation in Tripoli, yes, as you saw in this video. 48-hour cruise, landing at night, marching 10 kilometers, arriving to their homes, killing them one by one. 18. We killed 18, my force. And I did most of the work as the first soldiers in the line. We evacuated by helicopters with Avner Hermoni, a friend on a stretcher, wounded. He alive, he's fine. Golda, what a powerful woman. But Golda never said a word, not even one word, on her granddaughter. Just 2 weeks ago in Israel, there was an article about Meira, the granddaughter of Golda Meir. Meira, comparing our son, is a genius. She was married, Down syndrome, but she was married. She could speak, beautifully articulate herself, and she gave interview after Golda passing. Appeared in many Israeli newspapers and one book. What she said, Golda never visited me. Not even once. Golda didn't love me. Golda told my mom to never mention the Prime Minister of Israel having retarded granddaughter. Wow, what a blow. That's our country. And then Yigal Allon, a legendary Major General. He was having the same mission that hired later the commander of the Israeli South Command during the Independence War. He was there during the Independence War, a legendary, maybe #1 leader during the Independence War of Israel. Also a scholar, wise man, wrote many books, a strategist. When we flew to Entebbe, Yigal Allon was Deputy Prime Minister Rabin. Yigal Allon has never said one word on his daughter, Nurit. Nurit, born in Kibbutz Genosar, described in the bio of Yigal Allon as beautiful child. At the age 5, the Allon family decided no place for Nurit. You hear well? No place for Nurit in our family, neither in our kibbutz, Genosar, nor in the state of Israel. She was taken to Scotland. Once a year, he flew to visit her, never said a word. And then we found more and more and more and more and more people. You can't believe how many. And they don't speak. A friend of Yigal Allon, Ada Sireni, a powerful woman also, a fighter during the Independence War, friend of my mom. She visited the village that we built in south of Israel. At the end of the visit, I told her, you was a friend of Yigal Allon. You know Yigal and Ruth Allon had a daughter, Nurit. She said, yes, I had also. Orly, my daughter, born in Kibbutz Iron, north of Israel. We decided the same. We took Orly to London, never came to visit. She lived 43 years and passed away. What a shame. My dear son is speaking to me. Father, what a beautiful Jewish country you established. There's no place for children like me, and like Orly, and like Nurit, and more. What are you, God? What do you think about yourself? The Yom Kippur War, my dear father, you remember why it happened, the Yom Kippur War? Because of arrogance. But treating me like nothing. What is it if not arrogance? Yeah, this is my greatest teacher, Iran, the child who has never said one word, put a mirror in front of me and taught me about discrimination, about our society, about myself, about my friend, about my leaders, Golda Meir, Yigal Allon, and more. And I did another oath. I did oath for my brother to never leave a wounded behind. And then when he was 18, we got a formal letter from Israeli Ministry of Education, Didi, my wife, and me. Dear Didi and Doron, your son is 18. When he comes to 21, he won't be able to continue studying any longer in special education school. Dear Einat, my friend, you was parliament member. I don't know how much you know about special education law in our Jewish country. This is the law even now. There is no solution after 21. Until now. This is the law in Israel. Like, you know, our country saying, General Almog, it was difficult for you and Didi to raise your son. It was difficult from birth until now, from 21 and over. When you are elderly, this is your own problem. You love country, we are not with you. Do whatever you want. So I decided. At that time, I decided to leave the military and to build this village together with my friend, against all odds. Because until now, listen well, we put for this village more than 250 million shekel. Yes, together with the government, 50-50. We came with a proposal to Prime Minister Ariel Sharon, when I was the commander of the Israeli South Command, said, you know what? Just recognize the need to build a village. I will go to bring the money. 50-50? Okay. The government said 50-50. 50-50. Not bad. Okay. So, in 2002, June 16, 2002, the Israeli government decided a special governmental interministerial resolution saying we, the Israeli government, recognize the need to build a village for severely disabled children like your son. We are ready to give $100 million, 100 million shekel in one condition. You and your foundation, non-profit organization, Ale Negev. Ale Negev, owned, chaired by you, go and bring 50% of the money. 50 million shekel on your responsibility. I said, okay, fine. I'm going. I left the military. No one believed. No, why you leave? You should stay, be chief of staff. That's it, over. Leave the military, the rest of history. I bought millions. I'm working as volunteer. Didi, my wife, and me, as a chairman, we are working as volunteers. We are struggling and fighting for these children. And my power is given from our child. The child was the weakest, the most egoless, has no ego at all. How many times we face war and battles between people with big ego? So I'm like a father of 145 children like him. Just want to say a few words on this village. This is one picture of the village. It's Negev. Negev is desert. When we started, we got empty land, yellow terrain, nothing was there, wild. Now it's paradise, you can see. Running, moving all over. It's harmony between Jews, Christians, and Muslims. Yeah. In this village, we have 145 children like our child. But we have also 450 workers. Among the 450 workers, about 100 Muslims, Bedouins living in south of Israel, and about 30 Christians, most of them from Germany, from Holland, from United States, United Kingdom, Australia, Taiwan. I have many young volunteers. And by the way, until now, no one from Sweden. No, I hope. I'm serious. Yeah, I came to Sweden to say, Hey, I know something about matching. We can have matching, not only for money. We can have matching by, I don't see many young people here, but the next generation, the youngsters, and I'm going to speak about it. So, what we did in this village, we give them the best education, the best housing, the best healthcare system, the best social life, culture, environment, music, horse riding, safari center, anything, any treatment, anything in a small microcosmos of our world. So what is the model? Now you see the model. At the center is love the disabled. He is at the center. The disabled, the weakest in our society. He is at the center. Not the powerful, not the Prime Minister of Israel, not the ministers. The disabled at the center of our attention, because they are testing our humanity by their presence. What kind of people are we if we leave them behind, if we throw them away? What does it say about ourselves? So they're at the center. What is rehabilitation? We are also, it's not only a village for 145 children like our son. It's also a rehabilitation center for all the million people living in south of Israel. We have a contract with the Israeli HMOs, with the Ministry of Defense. We treat soldiers, wounded soldiers, politicians, parliament members, high-tech members. You just name it. Anyone in south of Israel, including the Muslims, the Bedouin, equally, total equally. Yeah, at the same swimming pool, you may find someone like our child, a Bedouin child like Muhammad, head of municipality, of regional municipality, like Eli Levy, or a parliament member like Yitzhak Saban. Yeah, all together. Not metaphorically, physically, at the same swimming pool, the same horse riding center, the same vocational therapy center, together. So this is rehabilitation. Education, yes, we have also ordinary kindergarten for ordinary, completely normal kids from age 1. And we are their teachers, and we teach them from age 1 how to treat the weakest in our society. No more discrimination. No more ego. Saying, I'm powerful, you're retarded, I don't want to see you. No. No more. Be humble. Be humble. You are lucky. You are lucky to be powerful. Be humble and treat well the disabled. The disabled is a test for ourselves, is a test for our humanity. We are all temporary creatures. Just like that, we can find ourselves at the same situation, in a wheelchair, or dying slowly, or left behind. Occupation, I said, we have right now 450 workers, but in 4 years from now, we're going to be about more than 800 workers. Why? Because right now we build a new rehabilitation hospital in the same place. A new rehabilitation hospital. This is also huge investment. It's about $50 million. Keren Hayesod is our partner. The JNF is a partner. The Israeli government matching. It continue matching. We continue passing a governmental resolution. We did 8 until now. We're saying, we, the Israeli government, ready to give 50% of the money. You, the non-profit organization, is a kind of joint venture. You go and bring the rest 50%. I'm here for that also, for bring more money to build rehabilitation hospital, the new rehabilitation hospital in the Negev, and the first rehabilitation hospital in south of Israel for all the people who are living in south. You know what the situation now? Situation now that if something happened to people who are living in Beersheba, or Mitzpe Ramon, or Dimona, or Yerucham, they need to be treated in Tel Aviv. Yes, in Tel Aviv. So we build a new rehabilitation hospital, and that's about giving more jobs, more occupation to more people. Volunteering. You can't believe. We have more than 700 volunteers. I spoke about the volunteers and I want to show you. And our policy to have everyday visit. In Judaism we say there is mitzvah, order. Mitzvat bikur cholim. Visit the ill, visit the deceased, visit the disabled. Yeah, it's written also in our Bible. And I was educated in very good schools, but no one took me to visit disabled people, never. So the DNA of Ale Negev, of our village, every day 100 people come and visit. 10,000 visitors a week, a year. 10,000 a year. Every week, tourist bus arriving to visit and see how we treat the most severely disabled people on earth. This is the hydrotherapy center, a place to give liberty to people in a wheelchair, a place to empower physical capabilities, coordination. On the right picture, you see the kindergarten for ordinary kids, completely normal kindergarten. And the teacher, the one raised her hand, you see, her name Sima. She's the teacher. She was 12 years old, 1984, when I was the commander of operation to bring Sima and her family from Sudan. She's now 46, she's the teacher. That's a coincidence. That life created, she's the teacher of our kindergarten. From time to time, I come to the kindergarten, she's crying. Why you cry, Sima? You didn't hear the news? We, the Ethiopian Jews, we are discriminated because we are black here in Israel. You hear me? She's crying. And then she wiped tears, saying, bring more children from the village. I know how to educate. I know what is inclusion. I know how to give them love. She is the teacher. Amazing teacher, amazing kindergarten. All of them, 23 kids from all the communities around our village, like Ofakim, Netivot, Maslul, and more. And on the left side, Aya from Kibbutz Reim with disabled. And this picture, what we see Meir Avergil. Meir Avergil is in a white shirt, religious Jew, and his wife, Shula Avergil. They came to Israel from Morocco. One day, about 8 years ago, they came to the village to say, we want to adopt a child. No, we have about 140 go, and okay, take one. Most of the parents do not come. Most of the parents neglected the children. So they moved all over. They decided on this child. She was about 2 months. Her name, Rahma. She's Bedouin. She's Muslim. You see, there are Jews, Orthodox, religious. They decided to adopt a Muslim child. Rahma is their daughter. If you come to Shula and ask, Shula, what is Rahma? They say Rahmi. Rahmi, my compassion. If you ask Shula, what is this child for you? You know what she does? She says, Doron, you see my belly? 5 children came from here. Rahmi born from here, from my heart. Amazing. That's also in our country. This guy is named Timo. He's from Berlin. He born in Berlin. His grandparents were Nazis. They killed Jews in Auschwitz. At the age 25, he learned something about Judaism, about discrimination, about the racist ideology of Hitler, and he decided to come to Israel to volunteer. He decided to come volunteer for 1 month, but he stayed 1 year. Timo. There are many video of Timo, video evidence of Timo saying why he came to volunteer for atonement atonement on the murder of 6 million Jews, atonement on Hitler's decision to kill the disabled, the retarded, the wounded. Don't know how much you know T4 Actia. T4 Actia was signed by Hitler himself at the first day of Second World War. September 1st, 1939, Hitler signed the T4 Actia. What is the T4 Actia? The T4 Actia is about shifting the psychiatric centers all over Germany to small concentration camps, gather the retarded children like our son, and kill them by small gas chambers. So Timo and his friends, I have about 30 like Timo, arriving from Germany saying, we come for atonement. It's our obligation, it's our commitment for humanity, to change humanity. No more racist ideology. We all equal by our rights, even those who have no power at all, like your son. And our mission here, to never leave the weakest behind. That's what they say. This is a soldier from intelligence unit, the same unit that you served, Einat, near Ale Negev. She was genius. Her name was Shir Bachar. She volunteered. She sent many pictures home. I don't know if you read Hebrew, but it's written in Ale Negev with Liron, my future husband. Liron, born CP, cerebral paralysis, never spoke one word, is in a wheelchair. And Shir, unfortunately, after ending a military service 4.5 years ago, she went to Peru with her boyfriend, and unfortunately, she passed away by a tragic way. She dropped in the water in a boat that turned around in a river and arrived back to Israel in coffin. And I wrote something about Liron in Facebook, my Facebook. I didn't know this story. And the mother of Shir wrote in Facebook, my daughter volunteered. She loved Liron very much. And she published in Facebook, in Ale Negev with Liron, my future husband. Now think what Shir saying. I think she didn't want to marry Liron. No, that was just a fun saying with Liron, my future husband. But I'm certain she loved him. I'm certain she loved him. And what is the message? The message is, don't judge by the outside. Don't judge by performance. Look at the inside. Look at the inside. And she's not saying that people like Liron one day will bring Nobel Prize for the State of Israel. The opposite. No, they won't. They won't be our pilots, our lawyers, our technicians, nothing. But look at the inside of ourselves, the powerful and healthy and lucky one in our society. Children like our son is about 0.5%, but between 0.5 to 1% from normal population. But what about the 99? What is the content of the 99%? What kind of people are we? That's what she's saying. And at the end, I want to conclude and say, I arrived to Stockholm to speak with you, my friends, to speak with you, everyone here in this hall, because you love Israel, because you have a commitment for the only one Jewish state in the world, because you decided to have a bonds together with Keren HaYesod. The Keren HaYesod is a channel just to strengthen the state of Israel. You know, and the wonderful people that sitting here, Ulf is the CEO, and Michael and Lisa, and you are doing all your power to strengthen the bonds between the people here in Sweden and the only one Jewish state in the world, surrounded by many enemies and crazy and lunatics and jihadists and extremists who willing until now to wipe out the state of Israel. So you are here because of the same commitment. The same commitment that our son showed me a mirror and said, my dear father, you are a liar. Yes, you said Kol Israel Arevim Ze Lazeh, but you left people like me behind. We are not in this formula. So right now we created a new methodology, a new attitude, a new approach how to include them. So we are here to strengthen the bonds between you and your families and your children. I'm really expecting you to see you in Israel. Number one, yes, show empathy and sympathy by visit us. We would like to see you in Israel. I would love to ask each one of you in Alei Negev to show you what is this village on the ground, number one. Number two, yes, I encourage you. Would like to see your children and grandchildren. They may come to volunteer also for 1 month or 2 months or 6 months or 1 year. Yes. And of course, continue supporting by all your means and all your power the only one Jewish state. And don't never forget what is written on top. As a society, our social chain is always measured by its weakest link. The strength of this chain is always measured by its weakest link. The more we do to strengthen this link, we are better people and better society. Thank you very much.
So this is a very strong message, isn't it? It's hard to know where to start, and I don't want to take up any time, but we want to leave the floor open for some comments, questions for Doron after this very powerful message. So if there's someone who wants to ask something or have a comment or want to volunteer right now, maybe. There's a plane leaving to Israel on Tuesday. Please, anyone who wants to ask a question is welcome. People are very shy in Sweden.
Here's one.
Yes, Max.
What is the reaction from the Israel public society nowadays? I can understand that you are still fighting to create recognition, but has there been changes in the attitude, in the laws, in the financing of similar activities, etc.? Do you feel that this Israeli society is changing its attitude? Thank you.
Yes, there is change. We have a program together with the Israeli Ministry of Education saying Tikkun Olam. Tikkun Olam is make Israel a better society, a model society. And this year this program is launched by 13,000 students all over the country, but next year we want to double the number. As a matter of fact, what we aim to start volunteering from age 6, because what we think that volunteering is the main factor to educate people. You know, you want to learn language, you need to train yourself. You want to be a better person, you need also to do something. It's not only just titles. But there is change. Absolutely, there is change in the state of Israel. Many more volunteers. There is more awareness, less discrimination. I didn't find yet another parliament member or one parliament member who want to regulate a new special education law in Israel, yes, but it will come. I'm certain. My focus is number one, not on law and regulation, but on things from the bottom. Yes, things from the bottom. You know, many people ask me, why you don't go to politics? I don't go to politics because I don't believe that to make a real change, it's about education. To do something, yeah, from the bottom. And that's what we need to do. However, we have right now, we have 4 centers in Israel, one in Jerusalem, one Gedera, one Bnei Brak, and the biggest is Negev. And we aim also to build more in north of Israel. But as I said, we also leading a change in Israel, to change Israel's society, culture, education, and we are very focused. Also, we have a call center for parents. Our call center in Jerusalem, and every day, unfortunately, many parents are calling to ask advice. They need advice. Then they need someone to explain them how to face it. I want to tell you, it may be shocking for you, but many parents considering suicide. Many parents don't want to continue living anymore. When I was commander of the Israeli South Command, I gave interview to the Israeli media in the circumstances of a grandfather who killed his autistic granddaughter and committed suicide. And almost every week, Didi, my wife, and me having conversation with broken heart mothers, fathers. They don't have the power to continue living anymore.
We actually had a case like that in Sweden last year, I think, in the south of Sweden. The family, the parents killed their 2 daughters and then killed themselves.
I want to tell you, I give a lecture to the Israel National Police Staff College. I ended the lecture, more or less this lecture. I ended the lecture, came to me a major, a woman, officer, beautiful, tall, nice, seems powerful, at the age 28, something like that. Then she said, I want to speak with you. We came to the corner. She said, I have a daughter, one daughter. She is 3 years old. She, from birth, she is disabled. She can't move. She can't do anything. And then she started crying and shouting. She is my curse. I don't want her anymore to living. I want her to pass away. I have no power. I want to commit suicide. Every woman bring healthy child. Why am I cursed? I have no power. And you know, I thought to myself, only one thing can save this woman. One thing. It's not regulation. It's not law. It's not money. If every day a boy and a girl from our community, let's say 13 years old, come to our home, say, we know you have a disabled child, 3 years old. Your child is our child also. We love her. Every day, 2 hours, we take your child, we go in our community, in the street. If every day, 2, a boy and a girl, 14 in 7 days, would come inside, a sister, I promise you, we change.